So here it is. This is my 1993 Lancia Delta Integrale Evo 2. It's probably the longest car name I think I've seen. I'm pretty sure you can refer the car to as like a Lancia Delta Integrale High Fidelity Evolution 2. Makes it a little bit longer if you're into that. But I just picked this up about a month ago. Got it probably 14 days, 2 weeks from when I purchased it, delivered to me, and then I had it at a shop just doing kind of like a post-purchase inspection. It was bought on auction as is, so didn't do a pre-purchase inspection. But I think I got a pretty good deal on this car, so I jumped on it because this is one of my all-time dream cars. Really happy to finally have this car, and it's extremely rare and unique to be in the US, I think. There's not many examples here, especially Evo 2s, so I'm pretty excited about this. This car was originally imported from Japan, I think, about almost 4 years ago now. I lived in like Maine, and honestly, the people in Maine that owned it, who I bought it from at auction, they did not take the best care of it. I saw some original pictures from what was in Japan before it got imported, and it looked like it was pretty well maintained with just a couple weird things, but you know, people in Maine kind of just abuse this car, especially the seats. Because in all the photos I saw of the car before it was imported, the seats bolsters were like solid. These seats are destroyed now. Gotta get new seat covers. Also, like a cigarette burn right below the headrest, which is just, I mean, I don't know why you neglect a car like this, but to each his own. Also, the door squeaks. I'll go ahead and pull this into my garage and go over some of the interesting details of this car. So not too long ago, probably within the last couple months, I've been upgrading this garage. I added the Swiss tracks, painted the ceiling black, added, I guess, six bulb 500K lights. And this car looks pretty good in this garage. I'm really happy with this purchase. But with these 500K light fixtures, you can see the paint's not the best. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, but a lot of debris in the paint, lots of scratches, and I don't think there is much clear coat left on this. I know there's a few spots where the clear coat is failing. Most noticeably the spoiler. There's almost no clear coat on this. I'm pretty sure the transporter had to remove the spoiler, and looks like he gripped it a little bit too hard and just discolored the paint because there's no clear coat to protect it. So it's not the worst thing. I don't blame the transporter on that. I mean, I got to repaint a lot of the car anyways, and if I had to just repaint the spoiler, I don't think that would be that big of a deal. Here's the interior. It's finished in this kind of like medium to light tan. I think it's a little bit lighter in person. But these seats definitely need to be refinished, I guess. They sell the Recaro bolsters, so I can fix this, because this is the actual like seat frame sticking out right here, and the bolster's down here. A company in Switzerland sells a refurb kit for the seat. It's just a new stock skin made from the factory materials. Other than that, I need to fix this headliner. The steering wheel is actually in pretty good condition. There is a little bit of dye missing here, but I think I can already clean this with some like color block and put some leather protector, but I might go ahead and buy just the color block. I don't know what they call it, but it's just their dye. I also ordered a new shifter. So they sell a short throw shifter for this car. This looks like it, but I don't think it is. This to me looks like they just welded on a bolt. Like they got a bolt that threaded into this knob, cut off the head right here because it's uneven and welded it on. This is a very sloppy shifter, so I can't imagine this is a short throw that another company made. But I have a new one coming in by the same shop that does these seats that I was talking about earlier. So that should be pretty nice. Also don't have a radio. For some reason, the previous owners in Maine decided to get the radio removed and speakers. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. So also there is this boost gauge, which it doesn't entirely fit in here. As you see, the plastic's kind of bending, so I'd like to find something that fits better. There's also this weird boost controller. The biggest concern for me is, first of all, I didn't point at them, but this ignition and start button, they don't actually do anything. So I don't know if the owner in Japan just thought it would be really cool to do that, or maybe there was an issue with the car at some point, and that's how they went around starting the car. But as you can also see, there's a giant battery wire. Just play jump rope pretty much in my passenger seat here, because they rerouted the battery to the trunk. Also, I forgot to mention is this carpet is pretty disgusting. Also, while I don't mind the tan seats, tan carpet, grossest thing you can do in any car. So I went ahead and ordered a factory black carpet. I think that'll modernize the interior a little bit. Also, it'll probably make it smell a lot better. Yeah, let me just put this hood top up. A little difficult with one hand, but I'm used to having struts on all my cars. I don't know what this is. So here it is, a small 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. As I was saying earlier, the battery was moved to the trunk. And I think the main reason was to put these larger coil packs here where the battery was supposed to be. But I don't really understand why they did that, because everywhere I see, they say the stock, coil packs are pretty strong and work well in this car. So I don't know if they just couldn't source the part at the time, or maybe they just wanted to put better ones in for some strange reason. But the one thing, I thought about just leaving them in here and leaving the battery in the trunk, but the one thing that bothers me is the spark plug cover is missing a bolt because they routed the cables that way. They're supposed to come out on this side, and then this can sit flush. And I'm also in the process going to just remove this, spray it with some high temp, crinkle red coating, get it close enough. I don't think it needs to be perfect. I just want it to look, good. This, I don't feel like removing that and painting at the time. I'll do that at a later date. It just need to pull the engine for that one. But I'll go ahead and put a small lithium battery in here. Get rid of all this, battery cable going through the entire car. And clean off this adhesive. I'm not really sure what this is, but every single engine bay of these Lancias pretty much has that on there. It must just be something from factory that they decided to put on, but I've noticed a few shops that, upgrade these cars, people that, modify these cars, they just remove that and polish the strut bar, which I think that'll look a lot better. I just want to clean this engine bay up a lot. This, though, I don't know if I'll be able to just clean this off and maybe tack it down a little bit better. Maybe, I don't know if you can stitch that or put some adhesive on there where it's peeling. It's mostly intact, but it costs $600 to get it to me, and I don't know if that's worth it. So I'll try and fix that as much as possible. End of the day, it might just look bad, but it's solid. I mean, it's not moving from this, so it's not my biggest concern. Other than those few issues I pointed out, the car's pretty solid. I mean, there's still more wrong with it. The suspension is pretty clapped. Hard corners, you feel it rub because it's just so loose. And over bumps, you could tell the struts are not absorbing any bump. But, on flat roads, it's pretty smooth. So I'm going to probably just get new coilovers. I was looking at a few different options. I can either go a slightly upgraded from stock with Bilstein struts, and they sold a model of this car that had lowering springs on it, so using those lowering springs and those struts. Or I can go to some Intrax high quality race car coilover setup that's probably going to cost me $4 or $5 grand. I don't know which route I want to go. I like the idea of doing like the OEM plus build, but I also think it would be cool to have pullovers with 40 clicks of adjustment. So I guess that's something I can decide on. Again, it does cost a lot more, so I don't know if it'll be worth it for just driving on the street, but it would be cool to have. I also plan on probably getting some new wheels. These are 17 inches, but they're like Enkai's. I assume the owner in Japan, I'm pretty sure, put these on. Or maybe it was the US guys, I don't know. But the tires are good, so probably not going to change them anytime soon. Probably one of the last things I do is wheels until I get the car like fully sorted. I do like the white on it, so I might get white wheels to replace these. So after I do all that, I'll probably also start upgrading the engine, which I'll have to pull. That'll be a bigger project. That'll be one of the, not the last things I do, but I need to sort a lot more on this car before I think upgrade the engine. But maintenance wise, this car is not too bad. Like I said, just doing the cam belt and everything should help this car a lot. That little bit of engine maintenance should be good for a little bit, so I decided to pull the engine and throw a bigger turbo on it. I probably will have to do an aftermarket ECU on this car because it's a 1993 Lancia. I'm sure the ECU is not that good. I'll probably change the wiring harness as well since I'm going to pull it. And I think this car is pretty simple. There's probably not too much connections on the actual harness. Overall though, I mean, I'm really excited to start this build. This is a really unique car, especially in the US. I think it'll be a really cool build. Just looking at this car though, I mean, I think it's beautiful. I know the styling is, I guess, a lot of people don't like it because it is a boxy hatch, but just looking how flared the fenders are, these box furs are just amazing, in my opinion. It just has so much presence, I think, on the road for being such a small car. Like that fender flare is just insane. And hopefully to get some spacers or something, I'm gonna fill out these wheel wells a little bit better. Probably one of my favorite looking cars. I would say my favorite car, but it's close to. Another thing I want to do eventually is probably just repaint this car. I think the sticker livery looks really cool, but at the end of the day, it's just like some sort of vinyl. I think it's 3M vinyl. They sell kits on eBay for like $1,000 to $2,000 just like this. And while I do like it, it gets a lot of attention. And I plan on driving this car quite a bit. It's almost too much attention for me. So I definitely need some tint here pretty soon. I know a lot of people don't like putting tint on like these older cars, but I live in Florida. It gets hot here. I want tint on my cars. I'll probably put windshield tint as well, just to help preserve the interior. I think that helps for UV protection and everything, since I'm pretty much changing the whole interior. So that's it. That's my 1993 Lancia Delta Integrale Evo 2. I'm going to continue to document everything I end up doing with this car because I think it would be cool. I think it's such a unique car, and looking around YouTube and forums and stuff, it is kind of hard to find content on this vehicle. There is some, because this is a, rally legend, 6 consecutive wins in WRC, which is, I mean, that's crazy for Group A rally. I mean, it's just, it's an iconic car. It's a legendary car, and I'm really happy to own it. So why not share it with my small, probably, viewers I have? But hey, it's something.